right? And I wish it didn't, they didn't need a month to be recognized. I wish, all humans were recognized on the daily and respected and given the equal opportunities. And I hope that someday it'll be that way. But it's not. And then so until then, let's recognize the contributions that each individual group makes, right? And revel in it. I'm a fan. Okay. Anything else on the line? Bates, Hennington, Delon, Josephine?
Well, it's that was from the social equity team of Tracy Bates, Lorna Hennington, and Rachel Biggio. So thank you for playing that. And we'll continue Women's History Month.
Helping us stay connected to important things in life. Right? Thank you, Tracy. All right, 2024 award ceremony is tomorrow. We're going to clear out all these. Desks here, and we're going to put up a bunch of balloons. I want everybody, please come. I'm only thinking that there's not that many people here in the meeting today and tomorrow because everybody's anticipating tomorrow.
Resting up.
Tomorrow. We're gonna have lots of balloons and celebration. If you're receiving, if you're not, here. Let me say something, and I hope this isn't overstepping. A lot of people have expressed their wanting to forget about last year. It wasn't a good year for me. It was not, I didn't do the business that I wanted to do. I didn't, and disappointed in last year. I would love for all of you to not only acknowledge the challenge, but to acknowledge the way you handled the challenge. Some people didn't survive last year, and you did. Okay, and while it wasn't the sexiest year in real estate for any of us, right? Well, for most of us, I should say, because it was for some. It is an opportunity to, I think, just put a punctuation on it, right? Acknowledge it for what it was and what you learned and how you survived, right? That is an accomplishment, you guys. Okay, the payday may not have been what you wanted it to be, but the fact that you are still standing and you are still engaged in the opportunity is an accomplishment. So I would throw my arms around it, right? Because it's over. 2023 is over, right? 2024 is going to be better. It's going to be, every market offers challenges, and I'm here to support each and every one of you as, the people up here, the staff and the community that we have are here to support you in growing from that moment into the next moment. Bam, let's go. All right.
Finding opportunities.
Absolutely. All day, every day.
Too, right? Isn't really tough times.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm proud of all of you for showing up, for doing your best. Like I said, you show up, you do your best every day. Some days it's good enough, some days it's not, but you do your best. And in doing so, over time, you will see the benefit. I could tell you, for those who don't have the perspective of going through a challenging market, that if it is the birthplace of the next group of top producers. Every time, every time. So don't shy away from showing up to an awards ceremony, because I celebrate all of you in having gotten through 2023. That is enough to celebrate. Okay, whether you're receiving the award you want or you're receiving the award, no award at all. It is enough that you, that enough of an accomplishment to have gone through that. This is where I
Not
stand,
the other side.
right? Yeah, so bravo. So tomorrow, 11 a.m., we'll have some good food. Again, not my choice to have it here in the office. I'd love to have it bigger and grander, but we just couldn't find a place and time that was suited and so on and so forth. So, hey, we're gonna make, we're gonna Judy Garland and Mickey Rooney, isn't that who it is? Who put a show on in the barn, right? We have some costumes, we have the barn, let's put a show on, Tim. No, not really, but we're putting the show on tomorrow, okay? Samantha.
I would just offer, if you could RSVP if you haven't already, we'd love to have enough food for everybody, so we want to know you're coming.
Please, please, please. Yes, we're having, some of us, there's a taco, taco person who was at an open house who I thought did a really, really good job. And I think you were there. We were eating out by the pool. These ladies, all right, anyway, they're gonna be here and they're gonna be serving up some good food. So
Excellent.
come and celebrate, come on. And as a switch up, this month's outing or networking event is a hike, right? On Saturday, not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, March 23rd, at Tree People on Mulholland. Has anybody ever done that hike before? It's pretty manageable, right? Yeah, you're on the street a little bit, you're in the woods a little bit, you come on a nice loop. It's nice. It's a nice, easy hike, and then a nice way to start your Saturday, right? 9 o'clock. 9 a.m. I think is a good time. Yeah. Give you some time, give you another half of the day once you're going, right? All are encouraged to show up. We have some anniversaries this month. Heidi Davis, 16 years. Heidi started with us and she never left. And Mary and Andrew, 11 years. Does that sound about right, Andrew? Right? Russell, Anav, 11 years. Russell Roney, 10 years. Lon Cohen, 10 years. Star, 9 years.
9 years.
Where does the time go? Connie Kim's down there. I think she's probably less than 9 years. Yeah, where does the time? Well, Dragon, I've known you for longer, so it feels like you've been here longer. But happy anniversary to you all. More anniversaries. James Cohn, 6 years. Pamela, 5 years. Maury, 4 years already. Maury, holy bananas. Gerald Korn, Jerry Korn, 3 years. Roseanne, 3 years already for her even. Christopher O'Brien, 2 years. Leslie Rulis, 3 years, and Chloe Choi is down there somewhere. Probably in the 2 years. I saw it when it came up. So happy anniversary to you all. 4 years, Maury. Right? Time goes by and you're not looking. Upcoming classes. Rich is going to be teaching a broker class today. It's going to be fire hardening and defensible space, which sounds super, super boring and not relevant, but it is super, it's good till it's not good, right? The fire areas have grown, and the effect that it has had on our environment and the insurance business in the last 5 years has been really, quite stifling. This is, what's the defensible space piece of that, John? That's the piece I'm not.
Well, defensible space is the perimeter around the structure.
Oh, okay. All right. So it's about keeping open spaces for animals and such like that.
And keeping vegetation away from the house. It depends on
for fires.
As to how far that defensible space actually is. Typically 25 feet, it can be 100 feet, but if you're in a high fire severity area, they want a big defensible space.
Whether it's your property line, within your property line.
Yes, what you have control over, and it can require the removal of trees, which can be expensive. So if you're selling a house that wasn't in the zone and now it's mapped in the zone, now maybe the trees to be removed, and it's a thing. So
yeah, all those zones have been moved around and expanded. So it's really, really important micro piece of the process that you all need to have some higher understanding of, because it's a sinkhole for liability if you do not. And a deal is going to implode if you can't, if it's not insurable, if you don't have the right disclosures, all of that, right?
And is this in person only with him? Is this?
No, it's on Zoom.
Zoom also, okay, great.
Yeah. That's today at 4 o'clock. Yep. Book club, Cordero.
Yes.
Where'd you go? There you go.
Hi. So we're gonna have book club meeting. It'll be next Tuesday after the Brokers Caravan. So we could have the first 3 chapters of the book read and bring it up for something interesting to discuss. We'll be meeting in the training room.
So just tell me a little bit about magic words. So for people who have, it's not too late to jump in, first of all, right?
Oh, of course, yeah, definitely not too late to jump in. Magic Words is a book that was recommended to Christina. It focuses on when to use certain words, both in marketing and then just everyday language, to help people, like either convince somebody or something, or just trying to better communicate. It's just to fine tune your language.
I'm still in the process of doing that, right? Great, thanks. And so that is, that's once a month?
It'll be every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks, okay. All right, and that is tomorrow at 2:30, or March 19th, I'm sorry, at 2:30. That's next week.
Yep, right after Brokers Caravan.
Excellent. Okay. All right, the morning show. You know, what could be said? It is a great opportunity to bond, to meet people, to get inspired, and to learn something new every day. Yeah. Tracy, I cannot stop looking at the way your head is positioned with your logo. It looks like you're wearing a crown because your headband kind of works with it, and it's just it's incredibly distracting.
That was my goal, to be distracting.
All right. Christy's training this week. Keep every lead, follow up with leads, strengthen relationships, qualify potential buyers and sellers, win with buyers, win with sellers, and a bonus class, the golden letter. I have a buyer. Okay, you know, does everybody know what that means? Yes. I receive one of those in my house probably once a month, right? Really? Once a month. You get 2 a week. Well, you have a more desirable house than me. Everybody wants to sell your house, Charlotte. You have more people farming your area, right? But the golden letter, what does it say? What does it have? Christy will give you, you know, this is for people of all ages. This is an all ages, all access, all ages class for sure. So, yes.
Like how many people have sent out buyer letters and been successful? Just curious. You want, I mean, I've sent out buyer letters.
Responses?
Not good ones.
Not good. I mean, your letter, like, your response was, don't ever send me this letter again. Like, people actually put the energy into that? All right.
I got a response.
Yeah, you
I got a response once. So I had clients where the kids bought a unit in bought a condo in a building, and then the parents wanted to also own in that building. And so we just blasted the building, and we did get a response. And we almost had a deal. The issue was the buyers had just bought in that building like a year ago, and we had to offer a lot more to get them to sell, but we had a great conversation, and it's still
Still a thing.
it's still a thing.
Lori, John?
Yeah, we had 4 responses and 2 listing appointments out of the mailing of 500 of them, I believe. That's in neighborhood, something, yeah.
Was it one mailing or multiple?
One mailing.
One mailing.
One mailing about a specific property that we had where we had multiple offers and we had additional buyers that were looking for something specific in the neighborhood. So
Yeah.
two
Leveraging.
in-person conversations, 2 other phone conversations, nothing immediate, but now those guys are all on our radar, right? So they're all.
We just sold the property. We had 20 offers on it. I have 19 disgruntled buyers, right? Kind of thing.
That's
Yep, that's compelling, right, to a seller. But Chrissy's going to help you with that. She's going to give you tips and tricks, and I trust that she will have a compelling document for you to walk away with. Also, Scott Roy, live Zoom classes, nurture your database and email campaigns, opportunities overview, command overview, new Teams website overview, and new paid ads 101. Mentee meeting today, 12:30 to 1:30, every Wednesday. It's a gas. Show up. All your questions and will be answered. Also, caravan. Samantha's back, and we keep building up every week. It was like 10 people yesterday. It was really fun. It's very startling to the listing agents when you show up with 10 people, and it's also it's a great branding piece for our office too. On top of it, it shows. I mean, people always get nostalgic when they see us. Like people who've been in the business for a while, they're like, "Oh, it's like an old caravan," you know, because in the old days we did go out in large groups, right?
And people do note it, like sometimes I go to the same open houses
Yeah.
where like the caravan's been, and the listing agents always say, "Oh, we just had like a big group from your office," and then I talk about it.
Yeah, we try, you know, sometimes we miss some of our own listings, which is a little bummer, but we try to select a new area like every week. So the new agents who come with us get to experience the kind of a contextual kind of, you know, measurement, you know, against the like houses in different areas, right? So it's fun. All are welcome. It's a blast. Flow coaching, motivation, accountability, mindset, collaboration, every Monday and Thursday. We are going to start showing that in the training room also. It is at 10 a.m., like I said, on Monday and Thursday, and a great way to get your head in the place that it needs to be. Hearts and minds. Buyer consultation. Christy's doing on March 23rd, a buyer's consultation, focus on the whys, not the whats. Okay, so you're gonna learn to conduct a structured consultation that you won't learn anywhere else. Connect like never before. Shift from being house-centric to consumer-centric. That's going from transactional to relational. I love that. So this is the theme for this year, guys, okay? Having a value proposition for your buyers should have always been, right? We've always pushed the buyer's consultation. We've always taught the buyer's consultation. We've always asked for agents to get the buyer broker agreement. Guess what? It's getting forced on you. As a business principle, you will, you know, I am this close to making the buyer broker agreement mandatory in this office, because it's going to happen in the next couple months, and probably it's going to be a law by January of next year, right? So let's start building the muscle now, right? It's a standard in your business, or it's a standard in the real estate business. It doesn't matter. It's a good thing for you to have a codified contract with your buyer. Now, that doesn't mean you don't have to earn that relationship. In fact, you do have to earn that relationship. You have to have a value proposition for buyers. Doing a buyer's, what we call now a strategy session, right, is different than just sending your buyers some. Oops, sorry about that. Sending your buyers some new listings, right? You have to teach them what and create expectations and have them understand what you're doing behind the scenes to get them what they want.
I think there's a difference between something you agree. An off-market opportunity and on-market opportunity. So if you're showing the buyer an on-market opportunity, then you probably want to find a buyer, right? And you're going to be their liaison to this market. But let's say you're playing buyers on off-market opportunity, they're not going to sign with an exclusive with you, because let's say you say, I have 3 pocket listings, you want to see them, and they say sure, they're not going to now get to know you full time because of that, maybe in a while. So how does that work?
starting in January of 2025, they're not gonna have a choice. So how does it work? So it works by saying, hey, I am going to, this is what I do for my buyers, okay? I am going to reach out to people in a certain area that you want to be in to see if they have any pocket listings. I have relationships with these people already. And so I'm going to find pocket listings for you. But if you know, if you're getting into a relationship with someone who is not willing to do that, then your chances of actually filling their order are very, very low, right? I mean, you have to.
I would say, you know, we only take those opportunities to people that are actually clients, and that's not you unless you sign. I mean, I would put it in those terms, but that's the idea, right? I mean, if they're not willing to commit, why would you take them the best opportunity? You know, those opportunities are reserved for my clients.
I totally agree. I totally agree.
Part two of that is you can have it signed in a very specific way. So one, it trains them to sign things with you, which is, you know, building a relationship and moving forward. They can sign specifically for that individual property, which of course you do want to do.
Yep.
But it could be
There are ways to carve it out.
Off-market opportunities in a specific area or a zip code or, you know, however you want to define it. But yeah, I mean, any way that you can begin to nurture that relationship and have them get comfortable and sign the docs with you, the better off we all are.
Yeah, I think the first, sorry, John. I think the first level of ask from me would be that every file that is from a represented buyer have a buyer broker agreement with it. Let's start with that, right? Is I think where I'm going to go first, which means you can get that signed when you send over the listing or whatever. In 2025, you're going to have it to work with them, right? So.
And the law is going to read at the first, the term is practicable, which is an odd word, but at the first opportune moment is when that should be signed, right? So the first time that it is practical and meaningful to sign that doc is when it has to be signed. So it hasn't been defined yet. Like, is it when you first meet them? Is it when you write the offer? Like, where on the continuum of the service are you actually signing the doc? But that's going to get clearer as we go.
Sure.
I have a question. So, because most consumers aren't real estate agents, you know, they're gonna take a while to come up to know about this. But if we say that to them and they're like, oh, I don't wanna do that, and then if they just choose to go to another agent, well, they're gonna be up against that again, correct?
In 2025.
That's what I mean.
Which is the whole reason for leveling the playing field and forcing everyone to use it, so that we're all playing under the same terms, which is better for all of us that, you know, that they want to do it that way.
Yeah.
And if I may, we take a step back from the actual signing of the document. We get over 75% of our buyers signed. Now they have the less than 15 years. So, you know, but because what we know is that if you take the time to get them in, first meet them obviously, but get them into a buyer strategy session, and then go through the whys and everything you're gonna learn in that wonderful course, and take you through the escrow process so they know what to expect, and then say, so would you like me to work for you? Just spend 45 minutes to an hour, if not more, with them, and in general, they say, yes, great.
Because no one else has done it.
You laid out your value
No
proposition
one
in
else
that
has
time.
done this yet.
Yeah.
And so, because we take time to meet them in a professional way, to set a new standard, we're not just tossing properties at them and hoping something sticks, right? We're finding out what they really want and take them through a professional process. When we do that, we're most of the way there getting them ready to sign something, because you establish the trust.
Yeah.
For us, it's been a business decision about what you want to do, work with someone if they won't sign it. What I can say is, when I was really working with buyers with Samantha back 12 years ago, I mapped out, my coach had me map out all my buyer prospects. At that time, there were a lot. Nowadays, it's less so, right? And if they actually came to an appointment, whether they provided me the proof of funds, the pre-approval, signed at that time, it was called the BRE. If they missed any one of those things, they never closed. They never closed. So when I mapped out what my clients were actually doing, the ones who went through the process, who did the steps that you need to do to actually close, were the actual buyers. Everyone else was wasting my time. I was wasting my time, right? So if they're not willing to sign, there's something going on that they're not willing to sign. And it's usually because they really want to deal from the listing. Or they've got 12 different agents looking for things for them, and they'll. What's the right thing about dogs and nothing? But I always say it wrong. It's like
Anybody's dog will hunt with it.
hunt with them.
Yeah, I always got that.
So, yeah, it's really interesting. So, learn the process, get people to get into a buyer strategy. We call it strategy session, not consultation. And
And don't say that with what you said.
Yeah.
Don't tell your client that. We're so funny.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Yeah, no, so it's really interesting. And it turns out it's not that hard to put up signs.
Well, it's the natural culmination of a great strategy session, right? The natural culmination is, would you like me to represent you? And you sit there in the uncomfortableness and wait for the answer, which is hard. And if the answer is yes, this is how it happens, and you just act as if you just push the paperwork and like, here we go.
Right.
Soon close.
So if they don't, there's two questions to be asked. Did I lay out my value proposition well enough? Or is this client a bad relationship, right? Right? Yeah. You might get lucky, but you probably won't.
I also think, to your point, when you're saying on-market opportunities, you should have it, and off-market, you shouldn't, I actually think it's the reverse.
Yeah, right? It's
Because
more
the
volatile.
on-market opportunity is a situation where they can go to Zillow and Redfin or whatever, and they can go to the listing agent if that's their inclination. The off-market opportunity, they can only get from you. So how are you protecting yourself if you don't have an agreement with them? And oftentimes in that buyer strategy session, that is part of it, is you say, my relationships, my ability to find properties that are not on Redfin is also something I can bring to you if we have an exclusive relationship. But no way would I ever present an off-market opportunity to somebody I didn't have that relationship with, personally.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. It's an evolving conversation. We're gonna be having this conversation for the rest of this year, right? Keller Williams also has a 4-hour buyer value class that they're doing. Do we have that? Do we have a slide for that or no? No, we'll have that
And
for
also
you.
the one I mentioned, that's what the NAR also has.
NAR has another one.
So, it's all free, so.
Yep, Carr has one too. Yep. Get as much information as you can, because it's going to bolster your confidence in laying out your value proposition and at the end, codifying the relationship with a buyer broker.
Can I ask John a quick question, and this may have been covered last week? When this becomes a law, is that the time where you said you feel that lenders will then have to start to incorporate
Well, it
that?
is a law in 21 states, so, and the lenders have not done it yet, as far as being able to wrap commission into closing costs.
Yeah,
which is what I
yeah.
think you're alluding to.
Into the lump.
Yeah, and that is not the case yet. So when the Department of Justice says that's the end of the conversation, you're out of business without it, that's when it will happen.
Okay.
So it's the DOJ, I think, that makes that ultimate determination, is my understanding.
So we'll have to obviously have conversations around that conversation, should it become law without that piece.
Yeah.
California is a compelling state too, right? Is New York's not mandatory,
I don't know which 21 it is.
but you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of lending that goes on in California. If the whole state turns into a mandatory buyer broker agreement, but that's the buyer broker agreement does not. It doesn't dictate the separations of commission. It just dictates the relational framework. And if there's an absence of commission on the other side, then the buyer fills that in. But that's not all of what it's about. It's about you getting, the commission due to you. Well, part of it is about you getting the commission due to you, or having your client bonded with you through this process, and that that you receive a benefit if there's a benefit.
So when I run into clients during open houses and stuff, and we talk to them and say, hey, are you working with an agent? There are more times that a client will say, well, I have seen a couple of properties with agents, but I have not signed it. So that's their game. So you gotta hope your clients are not meeting someone like me who's gonna say, okay. Well,
Something more compelling.
Gotta talk, so.
There's always someone who will get the.
Oh, absolutely, because the questions are automatic,
Yep, exactly. They're dating, right? Excellent, thanks, you guys.
The National Association of Realtors did their survey, of course, last year, and again, most agents or most buyers are finding their homes. It's a 10-week process.
Say that one, 10-week.
10-week process to find their home in general, on average. So some quicker and some longer, but 10 weeks. So, there's lots of great.
I agree. Just to get a little perspective, a raise of hands. Who in here thinks it's a good idea to have mandatory buyer broker?
Absolutely.
Okay, so.
It certainly makes the conversation a whole lot
It's
easier.
just so we get an idea of what, it's not it's a good thing. It's always a good thing. It's a good thing to have any relation. If I go into business with my brother and we are working together for a common goal in a business framework where there's money involved and money out and money in receipt, have a contract with them. Have a contract with them, especially with your family.
I would say especially with friends and family.
Of course.
Especially with them, because there's so many assumptions.
Yeah, that's the worst. Makes me see.
And one thing that I always say to the buyers to get them to sign is if you text them and if you text me.
Yep.
And it keeps them from agents like you.
She's doing her job.
Hey, if someone is not doing their job.
I encourage you all to be Christine, right? Right.
So what is it? Because that's exactly what I tell them. You're gonna get asked this over and over again, and eventually you'll be in an awkward position.
Of course.
Yeah.
All right. How to create a home buyer masterclass. How to create a home buyer mind. Oh, so explain what that means. I don't think it's. I had to,
I didn't, yes, okay. So as you guys know, a lot of you know, our team does a ton of workshops. We do buyer workshops, we do seller workshops. And so the buyer workshop's kind of my baby. I'm gonna be teaching a class how to do a buyer workshop. What goes into it, how to plan for it, what the materials we use.
The prep, the execution,
all the
the
work.
follow-up. Boom.
So it's
Excellent.
a great tool. We rotate per quarter, buyer, seller. So this will just be
buyer, and so how many people do you get on average to these events? Just to set expectations properly, because I have a perspective, but
anywhere between like 10 and I think our biggest one was like 28.
and that
Which is amazing,
incredibly
it's amazing, yeah.
If you got one person showing up, you're doing it, all right?
Bam, right?
During the pandemic,
Bam, that's what I'm saying.
Andy always is our financial expert. During our workshop and during the pandemic, there was one where we had nobody come and it was all online, and we still used it and we recorded it and we sent that out to people. Like, it still worked.
You receive a benefit in the invite, okay, in the social media, in that's in the preparatory getting there. You also, of course, you receive a benefit to anybody who shows up, and you receive a benefit in the follow-up, right? The use of the video, the social media recognition, and the follow-up. Sorry you weren't able to make it. Here's the video. There's so many touches in doing that event other than who shows up,
Well, and
is what I want to get. Want to
yeah,
get to.
we use it as a tool when we're at our open houses. We have like a separate flyer when we know we're gonna have one coming, and we promote it at our open houses. So then people come in and they see we're offering this free class. It is zero obligation to work with us, you know, to come. It's just, this is what we do for the community, is how we pose it, and people, you know, people respond to it.
Can I also say too, we've had people show up where they were prior attendees and they closed, and they then start sending it out to their friends and relatives that they know are in the market. And
That's where the magic happens.
We have one client that Andy was the lender on, and that she loves to say she graduated from our class, and she sent it to all of her friends. And now we're working with another one of her set of friends that came to her most recent one, so.
She posted all over social media.
Yeah,
She's
she's great.
You want to pour into somebody like that.
Yeah.
That when clients start to advocate for you, that's where the magic really happens. All right, so Andy, how you doing today?
I'm here.
Come on. Good. Get up there.
So I know Rich is doing the class on the fire and all that good stuff. Just a quick reminder of the tool on Redfin. If you open Redfin and plug in whatever property address your client is interested in, plug it in, click on the map. It'll take you to the fire zone, the flood zone, the wind zone, all of that to help you get ahead of the insurance situation. Okay, so just
give you a quick snapshot of what you're in for.
Yep, it'll tell you if it's moderate, if it's high, if it's low, for all of those things. And if a client is really interested in submitting an offer, you may want to get a jump start on getting insurance quotes, especially if something is in a high fire zone, because that insurance quote can certainly impact somebody's qualifications. In addition to that, hopefully everybody's getting my daily rate watch emails. Yes. You know, I mean, it helps. It's a good guide. It's a good piece to have just for conversations. I obviously get asked every day, what are rates looking like? Obviously, not every loan program is the same. Not every client qualifies for the same rate. Just a general idea of where rates are for different programs. So in terms of the market, luckily, we're not at the high of where we were in the fall in terms of roughly around the 8% mark. People are really coming out of the woodwork. People are realizing, yes, we're not at the high, we're certainly not at the low, but there is an opportunity. I've had several properties with 28 offers, 36 offers. We're back in the mix. And I'm finding too that a lot of buyers are really waiting until that magic property pops up to get their tail in gear. So
they're also holding the properties that they do get into contract with at to be of value, right? And so I see a lot more, very detailed requests for repairs and sellers, once they get into contract, I think are amenable to adjustments, knowing that it's, even though I have 20 offers, this is my bird in hand. What am I willing to do? To stay in contract with them?
The other thing that I'm seeing too, a lot of is potential sellers that are sort of on the fence. They're going, can I sell this property and get into another property with a contingency, for instance? It's happening a lot. I'm pre-approving people that currently own homes prior to listing. We're figuring out what their financial situation looks like. Can they sell and buy something else, or buy without selling? Are we talking bridge loan, which is very expensive? We're looking at all of that. The thing that I'm also seeing is
every equation is different.
Maybe
the equity from this property that you thought you were going to take out and use for investments, maybe you use that to buy your new home, so that and minimize your loan on this side. And then refinance, you can go back to 80-20.
I'm seeing more sellers that are amenable to going for it and going, we don't have a replacement property yet. Something will pop up. They're trusting their agent is going to negotiate the terms. If it's a 60-day lease back on their current place or whatever that is, people are becoming more amenable to really going for it. So,
That's good.
yeah, it's
What
awesome.
are the drivers? What are any kind of reoccurring drivers you're seeing in that? It's because that sounds like either an up leg or an up leg property or a what do they call that, when old people no longer use their big house?
Empty nester.
Downsizing, up leg or downsizing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, for people that are willing to take the leap,
What are
even,
those people, what does that profile look like a little bit?
I mean, they have young kids, they've outgrown the space, they need a bigger place. Or maybe they don't have kids and they just simply need more space and they're over it, right? In any case, it's good to see that people are finally stepping off the ledge.
Moving not just for purpose, right? That it's not just, oh, someone died or a job or
Yeah.
have to sell and stuff for some life event.
But they're willing to take the chance and go, I'm gonna trust my agent to negotiate the terms of my sale. And I'm gonna go for it and we're gonna hit it hard in terms of looking for a replacement property. I had somebody that went under contract yesterday.
Excellent.
Same scenario. They're selling, they just went under contract with new buyers. They just went under contract on the new property. And it was a contingent sale. The sellers on the new place were willing to take it because their property's listed. They know it's gonna go like that. So just keep that in mind. Nothing's off the table.
That's called a skill-based transaction, right? There's an agent, it's more than one agent, on the buy, on the sell, on the new property, who are able to manage that conversation in a compelling way to pull it off.
Yep.
Right? Again, you gotta have the.
I'm in a deal like that with the buyers, and the one thing that's really helped us, and this is something to talk to Andy about if your buyers are working with her, is the rate lock that your buyer has, because normally when they do a purchase price, they are limited to 60 days on the lease back. And if that seller is looking for their new home and worried about getting it, if the conversation can be had in advance, is how long can I lock my rate for? Can I offer the seller potentially a longer escrow so they have a little bit more time to find that property? Is that going to cost my buyer anything? These are the questions to learn to ask, so that you can present your offer to that seller who's looking for their new home in the most compelling way. We actually managed, my buyers happen to have a ridiculous loan situation where they were afforded a 120-day rate lock for nothing. So they were able to totally compete with a cash offer because they were able to extend the escrow, give them the 60 days, let them take the time they needed to find their new home. And that's very, very rare. I'm not suggesting that you can get 120 days unless they're lawyers at downtown law firms. But, it's a question to ask Andy, because normally you just get into a 30-day rate lock and all of a sudden the seller needs a little more time and you're like, what do you mean I have to pay to extend the rate lock? I mean, just know this stuff.
Have these come, every deal is not, it's not binary. There's so many nuanced pieces to it and opportunities to solve in creative ways. You have to ask the question, right?
Sure.
To trusted relationships like Andy, like escrow, like title. You have to engage, right?
Absolutely.
And I have another question for Andy.
Well, go on.
Sorry. So in the absence of the fact that all of our crystal balls are broken, I totally get that. And with the Fed, the assumption that the Fed is likely not going to give us too many reductions in the next couple of months. The spring market finally stopped raining. People are starting to come out a little bit more and go to open houses. People are considering when is a good time to list. Do you see rates changing much, say in the next 3 to 4 months? People are finishing school, they're looking to get into a new school district, whatever it is. in the absence of the Fed cuts, is there room where the mortgages might come down a little bit and
Sure.
bring more buyers out? Is that something that you're feeling?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it all comes down to inflation. That's what the feds are watching, right? Inflation is coming down. It's not coming down as fast as the Fed would like, which then lends itself to their rhetoric and their tone, right? The truth is inflation is coming down. We also have some factors that we didn't and can't anticipate, right? So one of the CPI numbers came out. They were a little hotter than they thought. Gas prices are up. Transportation costs are up. But remember, that includes airfare and travel. The cost of air travel has skyrocketed. And if anybody's paid attention to the situation with the Alaska Airlines fuselage, Boeing's taken out a massive fleet of planes that has now driven up airline prices. So there's several factors that are playing into, you know, inflation coming down, but not as quickly. But to answer your question, yes, rates could certainly come down. I mean, literally at any turn, they could come down. There's lots of factors. Stocks, unemployment rates, any of that stuff could certainly impact. We've seen a big drop since the fall, luckily. We
had like a drop and then it kind of went back up and now it seems to be coming back down. So that I'm, you know, in conversations with sellers, like, well, should I wait till spring or whatever? The question that I really have is, we know that the national numbers are, if rates come down 1%, 5 million more buyers come into the market. And are you seeing rates staying like steady, or do you think they're going to kind of slowly fall like they have been? I mean, in the absence of something dramatic happening, is that the path that you're seeing, or is it going to kind of continue? You think it's going to kind of continue to go like that?
It could continue to be volatile.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I mean, luckily, the last several weeks or so, even months, it's been fairly consistent. We certainly have the days where we see a giant spike because of whatever's in the news. But they've held steady, luckily, from the pretty decent drop we saw in December, or November-ish. So,
Let's say it's.
yep, moving on.
You
Okay.
can stay there if you like. I mean, if you like.
I'm
okay. All right, Duncan, hey buddy, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. So I don't know if who watched the Zoom yesterday of the class we did, but it kind of coincides with Rich's class today. So you know, we went a lot over fire zones, flood zones, and the NHD report in general. As a reminder to you all, Fidelity also has an NHD company called Disclosure Source. I don't talk about it too much, but we are there. And one thing that I even learned on the Zoom yesterday is that we provide a flood certificate for free if the property is in a flood zone. We're one of the only NHD providers that provides that certificate for free to the buyer, which is generally required by the lender. So that's great for you guys to know. The company is called Disclosure Source. And one thing that you should know is we have an expert with them. His name is Chuck. He hosted the Zoom yesterday, but he's always available for you guys and your clients when it comes to anything related to any kind of disaster. And with these new Fortress Fire reports, there's a lot of concern coming out about, you know, selling a property that has all these numbers in this report. So he could talk your clients through that as well. So always happy to connect you with him. And just remember that I'm here for a resource for you guys. Last week on a different office, I did an Instagram live for an agent who was actually doing a home buying seminar on IG Live. And I spoke in the segment about home warranty. So that was pretty cool because I got the opportunity to help her out and provide some information to her that she didn't even know. So utilize me, you know, if you guys are doing home buying seminars and having vendors come on, I'm happy to speak on them on Zoom, in person. just know that I'm here as a resource. And also, you know, when it comes to buyer broker agreements, when I was an agent full-time, I really had the opportunity to work on a team that heavily scripted buyer broker agreements. So I got really good at getting those signed and really good at doing a buyer consult to a point that I never lost a buyer ever because of the buyer consult that I did. So I'm happy to share some of the things that I utilized that made me successful with them. But one thing that I love to utilize is, you know, if they're hesitant about meeting in person, or they just say they don't have the time, trying to blow it off, you know, you have to think about, and you have to let them think about, this is the largest investment most likely in their life. Like, this is a really serious thing. So, I mean, I think really you need to make them aware of that. And what I used to say if they were hesitant about meeting, I'd say, look, I take this business very seriously and you should too. This is your largest investment. Same thing if you're going to a doctor, you know, you want to see the doctor, you want to talk to them. This is a serious thing. It's not brain surgery, but it is the largest investment. And you're going to interview different doctors and you're going to really get to know them. You're not going to just talk to them on the phone. So this is something that you need to sit down with me and we need to do together so that I can help guide you through the largest investment of your life. So just some food for thought on that. And I hope that you guys all have a great week and sell a lot. And I'm here if you need anything at all.
Thanks, Duncan. All
I
right.
have a question.
Go on.
Was the class that I did attend the class yesterday, Duncan? It was really good. Is that
Thank you.
class recorded? Because everybody needs to listen to it. I from that class, I will never select my NHD or Snap NHD again. I was like, oh my God, this is scary. So if it's
Yes,
recorded,
the answer
that'd be
is
great.
yes. Yeah, Samantha recorded it, and I believe she's sending it out to the whole office. And you know, Chuck has a certain style of teaching. He doesn't, you know, he's just very passionate about it. So he's not trying to bash other companies, but he's trying to point out the differences and why you really need to actually pay attention to who you're choosing for your NHD provider. So I agree with you. And yes, that'll be recorded and sent out if it hasn't already.
All right, it's sent out already. Thank you. All right. In the interest of time, this week's capper is the lovely Eileen Lanza. As long as Angela, what was Angela in there for how many years? 16, is 15, something like that. Eileen is one of my favorite people. She's back east, right? She is. She is the epitome of relational, having a relational business. She cares about her clients at a high level. She services her clients at a high level, and Kaplan is a result of that. I'm a big fan. All right. Also, Jonathan Adams. Is it your birthday today?
Yes, today.
It's close enough for me.
Happy birthday, fellow
buddy.
Pisces.
You and Terry Lloyd. Happy birthday. You want to sing happy birthday to Jonathan? Let's go make a quick one. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday,
dear Jonathan.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, buddy. All right. Terry Lloyd, also today, if you're on there, Terry Lloyd, that was for you. I whispered your name in that song. April Bella coming up.
Monday.
Happy birthday, Alan and Bella, as I would call her, on the 19th. Happy birthday to you all this week. Some closings this week. Angela Bond on Live It. Tiffany and Rachel on Colorado. Byron Field on Rose, and Eileen Lanza while she's away. Close one on Van Ness. Some new escrows. We have Sabine on Dickens, Ian Cherney on Flower, Bates Hennington on Bronson, Michael and Troy. Congratulations, buddy. On Mascot, and Matthew Lavey on Ronaldi. Oh, he got that in. That's amazing. Great. It's a big one. Some closed leases. Alan closed 3 and Christina closed 1. Congratulations, you guys. All right, okay, all right. And we love to acknowledge referrals. Tanya Cherie closed a referral in Port Charlotte, Florida. Okay, I don't know where that is. She does. And congratulations. It's all about relationships.
Yeah, right.
Really? New listings. Bates Hennington has one, a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. I would go out on a limb and say a fixer.
Yeah.
Joey, I think expand.
Come on, DeLon.
Hi, all. Hey, okay. So we have the lovely 832 East Century Boulevard. It is a fixer, so calling all investors, cash only, no hard money, $449,000. Every person who wants to write an offer must attend an open house and sign in. It is imperative. They must do that. Offers are due March 20th, open house this Sunday from, hold on a second, 1 to 3. Then there's another one on Tuesday from 11 to 2. Wednesday offers are due by 5 p.m. Quick note, there are a couple of cars on the property. So the buyer will have
interesting cars.
You know, I don't know. the buyers will have to remove all of the belongings inside of the home and the cars in the driveway.
Is there anything salvageable of the house, or is it a tear down situation?
You know, I think it's kind of hard to tell. I would have come in assuming that you need to gut everything and just keep the outside walls up. Yeah, I would just make that assumption.
It's not a tear down. It's not a tear down, but it needs significant work.
Okay.
I have a question. I can't read it, so is the zip what?
It's 902. It's in South Los Angeles. It's the Avalon Park area, I think, or Avalon Meadow area.
And is it R1?
It is, Tracy, R1 or R2?
Because Century's a big.
It is, but it's Little Century Boulevard. So when you go further down, where this home is located, it's actually very neighborhoody. Like there's tree line streets and stuff like that. So there's a lot of homes that look like that, but it's Little Century Boulevard.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, John, you want to talk about your Holt Street property?
Yeah, Holt, 1901 Holt. It is, you see the square footage price, all that good stuff. It's probably a tear down. It's an 8,400 square foot lot with the ability to petition the city for probably another 400 square feet in an abandoned alleyway behind, so just under 8 total. So the lot's zoned to LARD2, so which means 4 units plus an ADU can be built.
And there is a precedent on that street for multifamily.
Yes.
That's a great opportunity.
Yeah, it is.
Yep. Yep. Sharon Bostomsky, also fixer, 3-bedroom, 2-bath on Formosa. Great location, 2,297 square feet of home for 1.8. We saw that yesterday. It was a cute little house.
Is it a major fixer? Or?
It's a major fixer. Yeah. Yeah.
It's got an
It
abandoned
looks,
pool in the back, too.
you can see that somebody's lived in it for a long time, right? So it shows like it's sort of livable, right? And so I think it's be a great owner user project, is what I think, right? I think that would be the best for her. They own her on Apperson in Sunland, California. Has a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,332 square feet for $1.2 million. And some leases. What do we have? Laura Anderson on Mansfield. We love this property. Is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,400 square feet for $3,950. Also, Eunice and Kimberly Park. Eunice Kim and Kimberly Park have a. I'm sorry. 1089 South. It's right where it dumps into Highland.
Highland.
Yep. And what do we have? Eunice and Kimberly on 3rd Avenue have a studio apartment, 300 square feet, for $1,099. Also, Christina Kim on Grand has a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,159 square feet for $4,500. It's a Bingham property. Day Park on Fountain. He has, it's 4 commercial units, I believe, 4,712 square feet lot. But it's 4 commercial units across the frontier, and they're asking $2,875,000. It's a commercial opportunity. Also on Portland, he has a 2-unit building. They're 2 4-bedroom, 2 baths, 6,235 square feet for 1.5. There's also some we're asking pocket listings coming soon. Anybody? Anybody? Have any pocket listings coming soon?
Yeah.
Share. Come on.
We got.
If you have come up if you have a couple things, right? Chicks and chuck up. Want to make sure everybody hears it properly.
I don't remember the street address. It's Orange, just north of Jefferson.
On this side.
It is a, hello, everyone. It is a duplex. It'll be listed for $1,049,000. They're 1 each. It's been completely done. It is 2 blocks from the train station. If you've got people that are looking for transportation, really, really well done. Just a sweet, sweet building. Soft modern.
It's been renovated.
Everything's done.
It's
Yes.
$1,049,000.
2 1-bedroom, 1-bath units. Which leads for around 3. I'm sorry. Parking, yes, off street for both. There is a garage, and there is also an off-street parking pad for their front unit. They both have private outdoor space for each one in the front, one in the back.
3,500 each.
Side by side, 1 front, 1 back. So yeah, flats.
So $7,000 times.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
82,000 a year in gross rent.
A couple of other things coming. 1049.
That's a pretty good price.
Yeah.
For 8,200.
Super cute, and the neighborhood is improving by the day. Like now, all of that's all happened on Adams is all now happening on Jefferson. So, right, so that neighborhood is transitioning really, really, really quickly. We've got a fixer coming in West LA. I'll tell you the address once it's fully signed. It's out for signature now. It's about a 1,500 square foot house on a 7,500 square foot lot. It's a sweet little old lady special. It hasn't been touched in a long time. Someone will do a big addition to the back of it, renovate and fluff the main house, and that'll be great. It's like Sepulveda and Venice, that area, West Side Village, I believe it's called. What else? There's one more. There's another one.
Well, there's Orange and there's
Bickland. So we've got one coming in the Valley, North Hollywood. It's 2,000 square feet on about a 7,500 square foot lot, nice condition. It has then also an illegal bed and bath and garage conversion. So it pushes it out to 4 non-permitted. We'll go with non-permitted. And so, yeah, so that pushes it to 4-4. It's 3-3 in the main house plus the 4-4 non-permitted structure. Great for an extended family situation. That's $985. Yeah, so that should go also. We are also talking to some folks with a 5-unit building in prime Santa Monica that's going to be about 2.8 that should be signed in the next week or so. So if you've got multifamily folks looking in that direction, talk to us about Santa Monica as well. 4 cap on it.
So Samantha, make sure I teach my simple multifamily analyzation class, right? Because I'm a simple guy, right? And I think that the multifamily conversations would come up a lot for everyone.
More so, all of a sudden, multifamilies.
Of course. Oh no.
Yeah.
And John and Jack would be great to
There's a couple.
co-host the
Sure,
class like that,
absolutely.
yeah.
Well,
There's a couple factors.
That you put together, they could be used over and over and over and over and over. So yeah, if I use the formula.
Yeah. I mean, mine is is for smaller unit buildings because cap on a 4-unit building is a little a little harder, especially if it wasn't professionally managed. Oh, hey, one vacancy. So if it's not professionally managed, you're not getting good expense numbers, right? And then, one vacancy on a four unit is a 25% vacancy rate. Yeah, or, right? So it cap sort of is, I find the cap to be less compelling than the gross rent multiplier for smaller units, And so I'll teach you how to do that, calculate that. What's that? Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it. Samantha's on it. She's written it down. We're in. Say that one more time. Yeah, come on. You got a bucket list.
Yeah. Hi, Baruch Horowitz. I recently joined.
Come here so
I know,
they can
but-
see
oh,
you.
yeah. Hi, everybody. I have one pocket listing on, we don't have anything signed at all, but it's going to be going on the market in a month and a half. It's, I guess, west of La Brea, north of 3rd. It's a 5-bedroom, 5-bath, 4,000 square foot home for $3 million. I guess sweet little old lady kind of house. Perfect condition, just never been upgraded. And the comps basically comp out at like 3.5. So it's a pretty decent deal. It's actually my ex-mother-in-law, who's the daughter of the person who passed away, who's going to be selling the home. So that's one. Also, I have a buyer for a 20,000 square foot plus lot anywhere in, call it Hancock Park proper. So let's call it east of Highland, like west of Rossmore, south of Melrose, north of 6th or something. Well, I guess north of Wilshire, something like that. 20,000 square foot plus lot. They're well qualified buyer.
With improvement on it.
No, it doesn't make a difference what's on it. I mean, really. I mean, they're assuming there's a home, but they basically just
hard to find one.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So
What's their budget?
I kind of soft circled them 8 to 12, but they're whatever the number is, they're very well qualified. So
Excellent. Charlotte's she's got her radar.
Thinking cap on,
Trying
yeah.
to figure out which one of the people she's talking to would want to sell.
And they're not signed.
That's okay, sure. You gotta start somewhere. Anyone else? Pocket listing coming soon. Oh, I went the wrong way, or we put that in again?
Yep.
This from last week. Come on, you can do it. Come on. Wants needs. How can we help? Wants and needs. Anybody? Fill the bucket. Jacqueline, jump on it. Somebody jump in front of you.
So a management company for us, small lot subdivision. Around.
Single property? You're looking for a management company.
There are 3 different homes in this subdivision. So one of my clients, they want to get rid of the management company that they bought with. So it's initially everything.
So an HOA management company?
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's different. All right. Yeah. Well, it's different, some property management companies don't manage HOAs, but
HOA management company.
yeah, you should talk to Tiffany. She might know. I know she has had some experience with that.
Christina also has a
And
list
Christina.
that she likes, I think.
Yeah. No worries. Anyone else? Wants and needs? Anybody? Fill the bucket. Fill the bucket. Anybody want to share some?
I got to fill the bucket.
Come on, Chuck.
I want to fill the bucket for Samantha, who has been knocking on the park as far as I go.
Agreed.
Communication, and then some more communication.
Makes me look good. Thank you, Samantha.
Thank you, Samantha.
Yeah. All right. We're going, and so, all right. I know I drove, I really did a number on you guys today. It's 12:20. Thank you for coming, and thank you for being patient. And I think it was a